Well, let's see if they can do it for you this game. Maybe I should have the betting system in place from Streamlabs at some point. I might actually look into setting that up. Be fun. Alright, let's see how this goes. It looks like it might... Nope. Okay, they're just going for the Jungle Scion with Glacial Augment. Okay. Liviu bringing out the spice. It would be for this kind of thing, for sure. Sorry guys, I know we're into the game, but this soundtrack is a banger. And I'm just enjoying it. Okay, so the first thing that was put in the chat is, okay, the employee that decided to put Comet for Ezreal bot lane should get fired. And Panfex responded with, it's actually pretty good in a way, XD. And Aniki says, but he's a poke champion. Before greeting James, who, I guess, was stood on a ward or in the river somewhere. Yo, James, mind stacking my Mage Eyes? I'd rather have Conqueror or PTA. Aniki coming out with a smack right at the beginning, asking if the ADC wants to stack his Mage Eyes, but I have a feeling that that might end up happening. Anyway, let's get the chat out of the way and focus on the game. We have a red buff leash and a blue buff leash, but it looks like the teams are approaching the game in slightly different ways. Oh no, actually in exactly the same way. We have an AP top laner into a Shen. We have Lux into Morgana in the mid lane. And then Ezreal into Jhin in the bot lane. And that changes how these matchups play out a little bit. Because although Jhin does more damage, Ezreal has control of the 1v1 for quite a long time if he can step out of the route. It'd be very hard for Jhin to actually solo kill him, even if he does land the route, to be honest, without some significant misplay. And in the mid lane, the Black Shield will kind of gimp whatever Lux is able to do binding-wise. Once the back shield comes out, of course, it looks like Morgana went for QW start. Nice binding into some auto attacks. The Aerie comes down. Looks like it's a more supportive build from the Morgana in this game, but some nice poke nonetheless. Now, in terms of jungle clear, Sion does clear significantly slower than Kayn, and Kayn has already full cleared his blue side jungle and is working on his top side before the blue buff has even started being hit, minus Krugs. So I think that's pretty standard for the matchup. The Kayn... Oh, hang on. I just realized the music had changed. I think that's pretty standard for the matchup. Kayn does out-farm Sion pretty heavily. Sion's going to be looking for those level 6 plus ganks. I'm not sure which ward just died, if that was a red... looks like it was a blue team one, so he hasn't been spotted. But Aniki appears to be aware that the start was red side for Liviu, as he's already placed a bush in the river ward. Yes, that's what I meant to say. A river ward in the bush, and is looking out for that gank. There's going to be a fight over this Scuttle Crab here. Now, Kayn is more mobile. Wait, Liviu hasn't spotted the Kayn here, and is beelining straight for the Cassio. The taunt does land, as does the slow. The flash away there, and it looks like, unfortunately, the Shen is going to be left out to dry. I think that was a really poor decision, and the roam from the mid lane is about to send bad to worse. As the Kayn has procced Conqueror, he has gone over the wall, and the minion wave is about to crash into the turret. It is extremely risky here to dive a Sion with the passive, but if they juggle the turret aggro correctly, I don't think that there's much he can do. Aniki has held on to the turret aggro and has been executed in return for the kill. I would say that was worth, but at least General Liviu is able to pick up some of the farm under the tower and mitigate a little bit of the EXP and gold disadvantage he could have fallen into with a good start for the Kayn here, who is going to potentially get the double scuttle. And, you know, basically have full control of the early game at this point. He got some good stacking towards his passive. I don't know if we can see how close he is to his passive on the spectator client. I don't believe we can, unfortunately. But there we go. Orcas, yes, not like this, not like this. It looks like, however, that they did manage to, did they get a kill? And if... Whoa, what the fuck did I just do? I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad. Wait, where's my... Good roam from Morgana. I would have recalled though, because she had nothing to do mid without mana. Yeah. Still, they got to kill Wu, exactly. At least, it seems, at least to begin with, that the Crimson Lions have slightly better communication and map awareness across the board. Although the Ezreal was solo killed by the Jhin, so Panfex really trying to bring it back for the Orcas here with a strong start. Looks like he's probably working on either the Kraken Slayer or the Shield Bow as his first item, picking up that Noon Quiver. Whereas the Ezreal, somewhat predictably, is building into Mana Mune. Come on, Orcas, keep on fighting. I am sure that they will not let themselves go down without a struggle. They're not that kind of person. You know, they're not that kind of people. The fighters to the end, this lot. And it looks like the Kayn is finally going to take his first recall. I don't know how much gold he's sat on right now. Can I toggle that? I don't know the spectator very well, guys, so... is it G for gold? No, G is ping. Okay. Thanks, game, for that. Looks like we are about to see another gank attempt, but the ward has come down. The miasma blocks out the thing, the path. X to toggle. Thank you, Nori. Appreciate it. It looks like he has gone back with double the gold of his mid laner, near enough, and a 700 gold lead over the Scion. So things are not looking very juicy for our blue team here, with gold advantages in. Well, I guess in the lanes we would expect and needed to snowball. Like the Jhin getting ahead is good, but he's gonna struggle into Cassio and Kayn later into the game. Arbnor for casting support team technician, yes. Well, Arbnor is both better at playing the game and probably better at using the client than I am, so there we go. How far into level 6 is he? 5 is he? Not very. It looks like, actually, surprisingly, despite the double kill, the Scion is ahead on EXP of the Kayn and has picked up his level 6. So what I'm expecting is a gank to come out pretty much immediately from the Scion to try and take advantage of, well, the strength of that ability. And it looks like Virgil is bullying Cammy a little bit in the mid lane. If that binding had landed, I have no doubt it would be a kill. If I were him, though, I would probably just throw the ult. Oh, the train is coming in from Liviu. Nice flash from Georgia, but unfortunately, the ult comes through anyway. I said nice flash. Looking at it in hindsight, the reaction time was nice, but the direction was wrong. She really needed to flash up here so that she didn't put herself between two walls that he could explode on. So, yeah, I misspoke a little bit there. That flash wasn't ideal, but the good reactions nonetheless. Oh, looks like the Ezreal is outside of the range of the Jhin, although very low health. It looks like we are going to have a 2v2 here. Potentially. Nice landing of the root. Unfortunately, the fight has already been disengaged. And again, we see that Cammy is faster to roam than Virgil. Her command over the map this game has been superior in many ways. And the Scuttle Crab does go over, granting the blue team a measure of safety against any early Drake shenanigans that the Crimson Lions may want to initiate. Oh, do forgive the cough. I have not done any form of casting in a long time. But for those of you who are interested in a close game, the game this time round is only 700 difference between the teams, not 4,000 at the 10-minute mark, so it's significantly closer than our first game. And I am watching a Shen farm because I took my hands off the keyboard. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Only top-tier observing from me today. Alrighty. So, let's take a look at the farm. It is a very close game. Definitely Panfex in the bot lane coming up clutch with a near 20 CS lead and a solo kill, as well as Liviu's gank into the mid lane that succeeded. The 4th bullet does go through there. Unfortunately, there's no trading potential. The W does whiff, and so the Ezreal is safe for now. But so is the Jhin, really. I mean, honestly, if I were Revillo, I would go AP Ezreal this game. Because he has Comet. Like, he's going to struggle. The ult is going through. It's aimed at the Shen, and it is going to miss. So there you have it. If I were the Shen right now, and this is something professional casters talk about a lot, so I'm going to nick their point because it's a good one. With Shen, you don't really want to be reacting to stuff. Reacting is one way to use your ultimate, but it's often better to use it as part of a coordinated team play. And what I'd like to see is Jammy in the top lane on Bourbon Freeman come down onto the Panfex Jhin. I don't know why I didn't say come down onto the Jhin. Basically, I'd like him to ult the Jhin and go for the all-in onto the Ezreal. While, you know, he doesn't have Flash, he has Heal Ignite, so he's in a pretty vulnerable position, as is. The ult is coming out from Panfex to try and save Virgil. Unfortunately, Virgil has already gone down. Nice binding from Cammy, and a good gank once again from Errol on the Kayn. Panfex doesn't seem to realize that Errol has walked down bot lane, but it looks like Errol does not want to go for the gank, instead choosing to prioritize the dragon. Now, the Blue Orcas are going to know about this because he did trigger a Jhin trap, but there's not much they can do. Their jungler is top lane battling the Cassiopeia. So this should be a fairly free Ocean Drake, which will be nice for laning. A little bit of extra regen on health and mana for the red team. Gold lead has grown a little bit. It's hovering around about 1.5k. And it's about to be extended, unfortunately, because despite the 3-level lead, Kayn does not beat the Jhin. Jhin does not beat the Kayn. But it looks like, because the Ezreal was sidestepped by Panfex, he has managed to get out, because no form has yet been chosen by the Kayn. So all that's going to do is stack him a little bit more towards Blue Kayn, which is not the form he seems to want to go for with the Conqueror rune choice. I really wish we could see how close he was to his transformations, but unfortunately we cannot. Let's see, right now Panfex has pulled significantly further ahead in the bot lane, the farm lead extending that just a little bit. Unfortunately, like in the top lane, there's a 2,000 gold lead right now. And although Liviu has kept up very well in the jungle with that kill and with the farm, Kayn, like just in general, I feel is going to have a much better time once he hits his form. So we aren't really looking at Kayn's true power right now, which leaves me very worried for the blue team. Nice ult from the Kayn there to try and get himself out. And it looks like the teleport has come in from the Cassiopeia here. The ult is coming out from the Jhin, which is doing really, really well. He's got the Morgana. Liviu mops up the kill onto the Kayn. And ladies and gentlemen, we might just have a game on our hand as the Blue Orcas bring it right back. And the Gale Force. Did I see that right? That's a Gale Force Jhin with the jump forward into range to smite down the Cassiopeia. We are back at dead even. 5 kills apiece, ladies and gentlemen, and this one just got exciting. Aniki saying that the items scared him, and Panfex is like, he is getting his backpack out. You know, him and Liviu are getting on their fucking, fucking bicycle here and trying to pedal their team to victory as fast as they can, despite disadvantages in mid and top lane. But Panfex has overstepped, and the Ezreal comes in for the solo kill, having just completed the Muramana, which is going to feel really nice for the Crimson Lions as their ADC gets a bit further into the game, digging himself out a little bit from that deficit. What is Ezreal doing? Stretching? Oh, he's powering up his gauntlet. Okay. The Black Shield has come down. It did block the binding a little bit early from Virgil there to catch out the Morgana. The E has been thrown. It is going to miss, so no further damage is going to come through there. Looks like the Scion is continuing to hard farm the jungle, but he is going full lethality, so these ults are going to hurt. It'll be very interesting to see how that works out. An attempt to mitigate damage from the Shen there. Unfortunately, Shen just does not win this matchup. And he's going for armor first, by the look of it, although he has bought himself a Negatron cloak on top of the Balmy Cinder to try and help him against the Cassio poison. And it looks like the kill is just going to come through the ult for the slow, despite the turnaround and a few E's. Unfortunately, you can't step up to CS there as the Shen. The best thing you can do is stay there and try and avoid giving up the kill whilst soaking EXP. Looks like a trade went down in the bot lane, and in the 1v2, the Ezreal did outplay, and the Scion was required to clean up the kill. Rift Herald is going over. Objective control has definitely been the strength of our red team today. And a lot of the red red team are saying that Gale Force is causing them some significant jump scares. Looks like Virgil has been caught out. The red form has come in. The ult did come through from the Shen. Unfortunately, the miasma comes down, the binding lands, and Morgana picks up the kill for the red team, extending their lead just a little bit. It looks like we have some couples arguing in the chat between Liviu and Ravillo, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. As the ult does come through from Panfex, it deals a significant chunk of damage, which is immediately answered onto the Shen. The Morgana has been caught. A nice flash. I'm not entirely sure it was necessary, but a nice flash from the Scion there just to secure that kill. And now the pings are coming down onto the Drake. I think that the Drake might be a little bit risky, because while the Scion is healthy... Oh, we're about to lose the Jhin here, unfortunately. And if the Shen goes in, he will die as well. The teamfight win comes in just on time for the Crimson Lions, and they are about to get another Infernal Drake. Wow, Recti. I can't cast like that. My voice won't take it. I'm doing my best here, man. I'm doing my best. Alright, so the gold lead is now extending. It's at 2.5k. I could try. maybe another time, dude. I'm not the best at shouting. I tear my throat too easily these days. Haven't done it in a while. I'm doing my best to give the commentary energy, but I'm sorry if I'm failing on that one. Okay, let's take stock of this game. It is now a 3-point, just a 3k gold lead, gone up just a little bit. And unfortunately for the Blue Walkers, their strengths have become weaknesses in the last couple of fights. The Jhin has gone down in a 1v1 and even a 1v2 to the Ezreal. And the Scion has picked up some kills with the lethality build. But my worry is that despite the lethality build, all it takes is a flash away from the ultimate and then the Scion does nothing. Like, tanks are hard countered by Cassio and to a degree by Kayn, but this is not a situation that he would want to be in right now, because he's just going to get shredded if that ult doesn't hit, and if the ult hits and doesn't one-shot someone because they've got a league, he's in trouble. Hey, Doug, welcome, man. How you doing? And there we have it, the flash away from the ult into the immediate kill. Nice, Sonya's there, but it looks like Anarchy is going to go down. No! Yes, he is, actually. And the Shen picks up the kill and gets it away, and that somehow ends up being a win for the Blue Orcas. That Scion corpse damage taking me and the red team by surprise. The binding does miss. The Kayn is in a position to go, but decides not to chase into the fog of war, deciding to push out the wave instead and get some lane control. How you doing, Doug? How's it going today, man? It's good to see you. The Ezreal, once again, outplays the Jhin in the bot lane. Which is, as I said at the start of the game, like, the Ezreal has the control over that matchup, because the Ezreal has the mobility and the range advantage. And unless the CC lands, or he makes the mistake of walking into a slow, there's very little that can be done by the Jhin to answer Ezreal. Oh, a little bit of an argument in the chat there about support mains, but like half the people in this game are support mains, which is funny. You're chilling, you have your neighbor's cat over, nice. That sounds like a good time, dude. Doug kidnapped a kitten. Kittens usually just make their way places by themselves, so... Nice dodge with the Q there from the Kayn. The double kill comes through. He's chasing down the Gale Force to get away, and it looks like that will be the end of that fight. Jhin does survive, but the pressure goes very heavily over to the red team, who I think are going to begin to strangle this one out now. 7,000 gold in the lead. 17 kills to 9 and full Drake control, while bot lane is left undefended as the Kayn did take out significant numbers on his own. Looks like the inhib will stand for now, and the Scion is doing some work in these team fights, but just not quite enough to carry his team. He's gone hunting. Liviu hunting his boyfriend down on the enemy team. He doesn't find him, and so decides to get himself a little bit of KFC. Oh, Georgia with the BM chicken spam. Chicken steal, sorry. Steals the Raptors away. Denies Liviu the major source of gold from that camp. And this is just looking a little bit unfortunate. Alrighty. It looks like this game is beginning to peter out a little bit, so... Yes, it is beginning to look a little bit more like the first game, Massey. It really is. And it's a little bit sad we haven't had closer games, but, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. The teams were randomized by a website and not me. And to be honest with you, I don't think they were completely unfair, so... I mean, this team had 2 gold / plat players on it. This team had a gold and a plat and 2 silvers, so like theoretically fairly equal. I don't think the balancing was too awful, but the game has now gone very heavily in their favor. Looks like Jhin is going to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, the Cassiopeia is taking towers in the top lane, and yeah, that's it's looking like all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Well, they've been very one-sided, but I don't think it's a fault of the teams. I think it's a fault of the game play. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like... These were pretty well balanced, I think. Alright, the blue team has surrendered. Yeah, well snowballed is a good way to put it. And that will be the end of our second game. The Crimson Lions moving up to a 2-0 lead.